Hi! If you stumbled upon this video somehow, welcome. Actually, I'm so glad that you're here. The 2000s was quite the time for media. There was a wide variety of fresh and new TV shows and movies for all sorts of age demographics, vastly different from the media landscape that we exist in today, which is dominated by streaming services and demographics that are kind of vague. Some of these demographics aren't really catered to anymore. A very common example is the young girl to tween demographic. Back then, channels like Disney, Nickelodeon, Boomerang, and Cartoon Network, channels that were dedicated to the younger viewer, were on the rise, popular than ever, seemingly all at the same time, as well as the release of teen movies such as Wild Child, What a Girl Wants, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, Mean Girls, and A Cinderella Story, just to name a few. It's stories which often encourage creativity and self-expression. I was born in 2002, and there was never a time where I felt bored because there was nothing or I couldn't find anything interesting to watch. Even now, I gravitate towards media from the 2000s. It's just so good, especially when the people behind the projects were allowed to just do their thing. It's as if they cracked the code and had a deep understanding of this energetic group of people, and that was reflected in the media. And even though the stories could be classified as similar, each of them managed to do something different enough to avoid being classified as redundant to the audience. My mind immediately goes to the Cinderella movies. We've literally gotten so many renditions of it, going all the way back to the 1950s with Disney's original version. Yet each of them managed to do something a little bit different, even though it starts to get a little bit interesting towards the more recent years. For this video, I really wanted to talk about something I felt kind of shaped my childhood. I had options. I thought about taking a slightly darker route and doing it on Persepolis. Anywho, an autobiographical animated movie based on a graphic novel of the same name. I even thought about doing it on a certain Korean drama from that time. In the end, I've decided to take on the Barbie animated universe. Yeah. Nothing beats the feeling these Barbie movies gave me growing up. Obviously, they fit into that young girl to tween demographic that we talked about earlier. But I'd argue that the age demographic range is a bit larger, because I remember watching these movies with my elder sister by 6 years and my younger sister by 4 years, and we still reference and talk about them today. Yeah. I still watch them, and I'm 21, turning 22 in... I'm turning 22 in less than 4 days, I think. April 2nd, that's my birthday. And today is the 29th or the 3rd, I'm not sure, okay? The majority of them, the thoughts I formed when I was younger versus my thoughts on them now, are mostly unchanged, except for the Barbie Diaries. I have to admit, I didn't think much of it then, but it's grown on me so much over the years, ultimately becoming my favorite one.
Okay, everybody drop your pearls.
I'm not saying it's the best one. That title will forever and always be held by Princess and the Pauper. Come on now.
How can I refuse?
I'm aware that the animation looks like this and has characters that behave like this. That was a choice, but I don't know, there's something about this one. It's clearly not like the others, to its own detriment, but that very thing happens to also be its strength. From what I've seen, it's usually rated well, that's debatable. To me, it's usually rated undeservingly low. Anywho, I looked at the Rotten Tomato score out of curiosity, to see where it's at, to see where it stands. It has a 73% audience score. Not bad.
Not bad, but not good.
2 reviews from critics, which is fair, but A few bad, but mostly positive reviews. Like this one. This one kind of touches on the point that I'm trying to make. So in this video, I won't be diving too deep into the behind the scenes, as in production wise. If you're looking for some fun facts regarding the production, then I'd recommend this video by Millie Willow's Doll. I won't be diving into any of the controversies either. There's a lot of great videos on here made about that, like this one by Mina Lee, where she perfectly explained how the way Barbie is marketed, its beauty standards, its take on diversity or lack thereof affects the very girls they're trying to empower and teach that, hey, you can be anything. So if you are a curious one like me, all the links will be in the description. I will throw in bits and pieces of information here and there, like the vibe that animators and directors were going for. Speaking of which, I was surprised to find out that the director of this movie also directed Megamind. Yeah, that Megamind. The beloved, mind-boggling, trope-bending, beloved movie. I said that twice, but yeah, Megamind. Okay, work. I'd also like to talk about the music. The slay done on this soundtrack cannot be ignored. But mainly, I just like to focus on the plot and the themes within the story. Disclaimer. This is not a critical analysis, as these are comfort films, but there's a huge nostalgic element playing into this, making it a more personal take. It's okay if you don't agree or like this movie. Is this basically a glorified Barbie Diaries appreciation video? Of course. This video is very unserious in its seriousness. I don't know what to tell you. So let's have some fun. Crack of dawn on a brand new day, a fresh and fitting way to start this. So, shall we begin? As the movie begins, we get the scene that sets the tone for the shenanigans that are about to ensue. Just kidding, but tell me this scene doesn't feel like a Pink Panther's music video. We're introduced to this movie's Barbie, named Barbie, and her best friends Tia and Courtney, the co-leads of her pop rock daydream. They like to play music together and have a very playful dynamic. We then meet Kevin. I assume he's Barbie's neighbor. He interrupts their jam out sesh and cuts the music. So Barbie's like, what the frick, Kev? You're interrupting our not so much practice sesh. But Kev is there for good reason. They have a yearly tradition of wishing on the sunset the night before the school year begins. And time is of the essence. I just want to say, as repelling as the animation is, some of these background designs I can get with. They aren't that bad. They look like a video game I would play. It also seems like they were going for a 16 and My Scene vibe. Considering the director is responsible for the My Scene Goes to Hollywood movie, it makes sense. I can see where the creative choices came from. At the location, each of them make a wish on how they want the school year to go. This is important. Remember this. Tia prepared ahead. She's so ready for the sophomore year. She picked out her outfit a week ahead and numbered her jeans so she wouldn't wear the same pair twice in a row. Meticulous queen. Oh, and she wants to run for class president. Kevin is the filmmaker in the group. He made 20 movies over the summer, but doesn't know how he can get people to see them. Courtney is the drummer. She's been practicing for a new trick, but hasn't figured out how to land it yet. And Miss Barbie is a little bit too excited for the school year. She doesn't want to blend into the lockers anymore and is hoping to be the anchor for the school news channel or something. Why are main characters in high school movies always so excited to go to school? Is anyone ever this excited to go back to school? No one that I know is. I'm just saying. The school day arrives, Barbie and her friends are driving to school and operating on good vibes. They even find a good parking spot, but then someone in a blue sedan, convertible, swoops in and fills their spot. Then all of a sudden,
I hear this agitating, grating voice.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you guys going for this spot? How awkward.
It's for the best. You saved her the embarrassment of parking that junk heap where people can actually see it.
How nice of me.
Hey, Raquel.
Hello.
we find out this is Regina. I mean Raquel. No, not that Raquel. That Raquel is iconic.
Project fabulous.
This Raquel is sinister. She's our designated faker. In other words, Miss Queen Bee, Miss Populaire, Miss Populazzi. clumsy. And her and Barbie used to be friends before she started her whole spiel. Who is this man? Who is this man and why is he walking like that? Jokes. I know who this man is. I just hate to admit it. This is Todd, and our girl is so down bad for him. Seeing him knocks her into a daze. So Todd is Mr. Hottie School Jock Guy. Not my words, I promise. Courtney's. She then proceeds to knock some sense into Barbie by telling her,
having a crush on Mr. Hottie's school jock guy is a cliche. And frankly, I think you're better than that.
facts. Tia does make a good point though. Two things can be true at the same time.
I think he just smiled at me. Shh, here he comes.
Hey, Barbie.
Anywho, there's a lawn for popular people. I'm genuinely curious, are high schools in America really this cliquey? I'm just asking. For science. Yeah, cause why is there a lawn for popular people? Speaking of the paparazzi, here comes the head of the department. Barbie is on her way to speak to Mr. Wexler and she gets some much needed motivation from her friends.
Forget luck, you rock. Go kick news anchor butt. Thanks.
Yes, queen! Slay!
So she goes to do just that, but guess who's there? Yeah, it's Raquel in the anchor chair doing her supposed anchor thing.
You want real news? How about this? Who's in, who's out, and what's the latest gossip about?
And cut.
I can't argue with that. People do like to hear about a messy situation. But is it hard-hitting? Mr. Wexler dubs Raquel as the news anchor before Barbie could even get her foot in the door. Our girl is down bad. But then he tells her he's glad she's there.
You're the most dedicated student on our staff. We could really use you around the station this year.
Lights, camera, action. It looks like Miss Barbie might still have a shot at this.
Really?
Kel's gonna need a top-notch assistant.
Surprisingly, Barbie accepts this offer. Reason being, she sees it as a stepping stone. Rational. Could not be me.
You said yes?
That's exactly what I'm saying. We get some information about their dynamic. Courtney is the exciting one, Tia is the hot intellectual one, and Barbie is the totally awesome kind-hearted one who holds them together like glue. After that, Barbie receives a call from Kevin. She's like, "Hi, I'm glue." He asks them to gather at the front of the school. Apparently, he gathered some interesting footage while filming cheerleader practice.
Why were you shooting cheerleader practice, Kevin?
Look, do you want to see the footage or not?
I'm just saying we don't have to be together every second.
Well, if your seconds are so precious, why don't you take all of them?
That's not what I meant. I just...
Forget it. There are millions of guys who would want to spend every second with me.
Wow.
Kel...
So over it.
Oof.
No. Real human drama caught on tape.
That's what I'm saying. Now, Miss Barbie is a little too excited about the breakup.
A few moments later.
Todd is sitting right by Barbie's locker, and we're back to daydreaming. I love how at the beginning Barbie said this.
Last year, I just felt like I blended into the lockers.
And here's Todd sitting by the locker trying to blend in but failing miserably. Like he's failing to stand out. Just put them together and boom. One blends in more, one stands out more. In theory, they're perfect for each other.
Sometimes my genius is... it's almost frightening.
But that's not what's real right now. What's very real is Barbie embarrasses herself and drops a book on Todd's head, you know, because he's sitting in front of her locker and won't move. Ugh, Todd. That boy's sad, but she manages to lighten the mood and apologizes. Then he goes, shh, no, thank you. And Todd says this, cha, Barbie, you're like the only person that made me laugh today. Which I guess is kind of cute. He must really like funny girls, because not long after, Kev spots them walking to the bleachers while he was filming campaign footage for Tia.
Whoa.
I might have spoke too soon about Todd. He's actually not that bad. Just a typical
Mr. Hottie's school jock guy.
He cares a little bit too much about what others think. I guess that doesn't sound any better. Anyway, he tells Barbie his feelings on his breakup with Raquel, and Barbie gives him some advice.
My grandmother used to say, what other people think of you is none of your business.
sounds like a cool lady.
Which makes him cool by proxy? I don't know, I don't make the rules. School is out and the girls are having a three-way call about Barbie's new suitor. I have to say, their rooms... Yes. Cute.
So, you and the Toddster.
Pressing questions are being asked left and right, but of course, Barbie's downplaying it. I really like Kevin's character. He has this chill, funny guy thing about him, and his chemistry with Barbie's actually cute. The animation does them all dirty though. Barbie's confiding in Kevin about what she's going through with the anchor position. This gets her all fired up, and she attempts to give Kevin's advice a go.
No, I'm sorry, Barbie.
Dang. Yeah, she's really going through it right now. Raquel's got the upper hand, at least she thinks she does. But Barbie's got a secret card up her sleeve, and guess who shows up? Of course, Raquel thinks he's there for her.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
When in fact, Todd is there to see Barbie, to ask her to spring formal. But did she say yes?
Yes, of course she said yes. She'd be insane not to say yes. You did say yes, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Raquel who? At this point, they're practically dating. Miss Raquel is big jealous, so much she tries to make Todd jealous. Which sort of works, cause what is this? What is this look on this man's face? We'll come back to this. And if you thought that the happenings between Barbie and Todd ended there, no, they don't. They're frolicking around the halls, holding hands, and the paparazzi are gagged. And Miss Barbie seems to be enjoying herself. Now we're starting to form a good idea of Barbie's character in this movie. Based off what we've seen, she's sweet and nice to everyone, as expected from a Barbie character. She's also flawed and tends to overthink. I don't think her intentions are ever malicious like Raquel's are sometimes. It explains why she said yes to Mr. Wexler's offer to be Raquel's assistant, because by no means did she have to accept that offer, and by no means did she just deserve to have it handed to her. But he didn't even give her a chance. She had the option to say no. It's because Mr. Wexler says,
"Can I count on you?"
that she accepts. It seems like she wants to leave a good impression on the people she interacts with, which is a common trait in a lot of ambitious female characters at this age. I personally like this because she's flawed and not too overly perfect. We get to see a bit of the desperation to be popular Raquel's character normally has in Barbie. Since Todd and Barbie are going to the fall formal together, the girls are at the mall looking for the right dress. The criteria, you ask?
I have to find the dress that says, I'm a cool, hip, tons of fun girl with the mysterious side. And I have to be able to actually eat dinner and, you know, breathe in it. And it should be strapless, so there aren't sleeves to get caught on doorknobs. And it should be red.
So far, all of them are deep in their pursuits, and their interests align for the most part. But they're not quite where they want to be just yet. We then get the scene that pushes the plot into full gear. Raquel and the Walmart plastics are also shopping at the mall. In the same store. Just great. The girls aren't having any of it though. They ignore her and proceed shopping, ultimately finding the perfect dress. Not long after a checkup, Barbie's phone rings. It's Todd, calling just in time for the good news. But nope, sad news instead. Todd canceled their date to the dance because he got back together with Raquel.
Was that Todd? I told him he needed to talk to you ASAP. Of course, he doesn't really understand acronyms, but I guess he got the point.
I'm about to beat this bitch up.
She's horrible.
Honest to God. The shopping spree was almost ruined, but the store girl comes through and shows them these inconspicuous, normal-looking bracelets. And she claims that they're not any ordinary bracelets.
Each one has its own set of charms that you can rearrange.
Okay.
So she's hesitant at first, but they're free. She'd actually be crazy not to take them. Store Girl is a real one. They each pick out their bracelets, and then we come to realize that the one Miss Barbie picked comes with a diary.
You'd be surprised to discover the power of your own thoughts. Put them on paper and amazing things can happen.
Ooh, mystifying. After all of that, all Barbie wants to do is blend into the lockers. Again, not that easy to do when you have to deal with someone like Raquel. And as expected, she shows up to practice tyranny on Barbie's life.
You cursed brat! Look what you've done!
She has a story and wants Barbie to do the research for it. Okay, cool. Topic?
Fashion. Do any of us have the backbone to go backless?
That's your big story?
Raquel scurries away without a care in the world, and Barbie's left to confide in Kevin, feeling that she should have gotten a fair chance to run a school news anchor.
Who cares if she's exciting, fresh, and fun?
Please, She sounds like a deodorant.
Just when she was thinking everything sucks, things got worse. A bracelet gets caught on someone's backpack, sending her on a wild goose chase around the school, leading up to her finding a poster for the school's fall formal band auditions. Oh yeah, that's right. Barbie's in a band with her good friends Tia and Courtney. Fate? Bracelet? Bracelet is equal to fate? She signs up. Bold move. Because mind you, so far, they've only played in Barbie's Daydream. So yeah, risk level is high, experience is low. When she tells the girls that they're understandably skeptical of her sudden decision, she admits that it's a little bit unorthodox and a little bit out of the blue, but she's convinced that it'll be good for them. Tia can get rep for her president campaign, Courtney can consistently practice her drumming, and Barbie can get her mind off of the Todd thing while showing Mr. Wexler that she's exciting, fresh, and fun, all while doing something that they've always loved doing together. I don't know about you, but I'd be convinced by that. Like, I'm sold. It does not take me that much to get excited for things. Barbie's not done cooking up plans yet, though. While having lunch with Kev, she has a light bulb moment. Raquel's made Barbie feel like dirt so many times that she's had it and wants to do a story, an expose, an in-depth study on what makes the popular kids popular. Then she'll show it to Mr. Wexler. You'll see that she's exciting, fresh, and fun and plays in a girl band in her spare time. Total slay. Deal sealed. But easier said than done. The girls are staying on schedule and sticking to the program. They're having a practice session, and to their own surprise, they don't sound that bad. I'm not surprised though. I've been knowing their song slapped.
I feel them looking down on me. Or am I paranoid? Nowhere to hide, no room to breathe. I'll be my own self, I can be nobody else. And if I could only make one wish, I just wanna live a real life. A real life.
I mean, excuse me? Practice gets interrupted as usual, but this time it's by a snack break. And Kevin. And general girl banter. You know the drill. And once again, Kev is going above and beyond for Barbie. It's not how he looks, guys. It's the things it's the things he does.
Ew, I just grossed myself out.
He brings Barbie a camera for her study on the populars. The populars. The populazi. Love saying that.
Okay, now remember, too much zooming in and out makes your footage seem amateurish, and your entire story will be roar.
Too much zooming. What? He has good insight. It's so obvious Kevin likes Barbie because he's always looking at her all longingly. Only this time, the besties notice, and it's time for questioning. Roll the clip.
What?
Did you just start liking her? Or did we just start noticing it?
What?
We're talking about your hopeless, desperate, but strangely endearing crush on our friend Barbie.
Oh, that.
I just want to say the backgrounds in this scene, oh my word, so inviting. I want to hang out here. I do. Anyway, they think he should tell her how he feels, but Kevin disagrees. He's like, nah, he's keeping an open mind, and maybe he'll tell her. It just has to be from him. The next day, she has to get into interviewing the populars, asking Kevin for a little bit of advice on how to approach it. As usual, he provides great advice, telling her to take it slow and compliment them.
Somebody about it, and they told me that it had all these robots in it. Hey! I'm sorry, but did we invite you into this conversation?
She manages to talk with them for a bit, but it doesn't go exactly as planned. She planted a seed, but ultimately lost her chance to ask for an interview. And what do you do after a bout of social suicide? You turn to the pages and write all about it. You have to find solutions somehow. Out of nowhere, Barbie becomes inventor extraordinaire and comes up with a highlighter lip gloss? I don't know what this storyline is for, other than to be a plot device for Barbie interviewing Don and Reagan. She gives it to Courtney because she's always getting in trouble for wearing makeup during class, and while using it, Don and Reagan catch a glimpse. They do a survey, you know, they scope it out. They're like, they do a full scan of the situation. After class, Miss Barbie is at her locker. She opens it and a piece of paper falls out.
You totally have a
secret admirer.
And then Reagan asks Barbie to make her the highlighter lip gloss she saw Courtney using. Not only that, she also asks for a hangout with her and Dawn. And that secret admirer note? Well, it said maybe they'll meet in the library. Kevin's in the library, talking to her about the anchor position. And he just happens to bring up the secret admirer note. Out of the blue, Todd also shows up in the library, asking to speak with Barbie about the formal. Oh my goodness, why? Why? Then he tells her he enjoyed hanging out with her.
Child. Anyway, so...
And obviously Barbie thinks it's Todd, cause...
You're not even listening to a word I say. I ate a live iguana yesterday. Swallowed it whole.
Yeah, sure.
She really thinks it's Todd and doesn't even consider it could be Kevin. Finally, she meets up with Dawn and Reagan. She starts with pumping up their egos a little bit and then gets to the actual objective of the mission. You gotta do what you gotta do. Reagan and Dawn agree that they're the most popular and of course that they dress cute, so naturally they say yes to Barbie's offer. And then Dawn asks if Raquel should be included. Because she's their best friend, right? Right? So why did they not tell her?
Because she would hog the whole interview, right? Am I right? Totally. She'd be all up in the camera, flipping her hair, and talking about how great she is. Isn't Raquel your friend? Totally BFF. Best friends forever.
I wouldn't be so sure. So the populars are really into this. Everyone is loving Barbie's highlighter lip gloss, and she's on the rise and seemingly in business too, becoming popular and getting a little bit too carried away with it. Raquel is not happy. She's pressed about this, asking Dawn and Reagan not to hang out with the girl who stole her man, Todd.
You were broken up.
Then they literally walk away from her to continue speaking with Barbie, because she's the one who's hot and cool and in right now. In all fairness, they're just operating off of her rules.
Who's in, who's out, and what's the latest gossip about?
But since she can't really do anything about it, she turns to doing everything possible in her power to make Barbie's life miserable. Exhibit A, making Barbie do research on which coffee bar serves the best latte. And then when she brings the lattes, has her redo them because she asked for non-fat, which stresses Barbie out right before her auditions.
I hate my life.
Exhibit B, putting the girls in trouble for selling their highlighter lip gloss by straight up telling the principal. You know, I actually don't know if she's selling them, but I assume that she is, because that is a business, Barbie. I hope she's selling those. Unless she's really sweet and just wants to give everyone her highlighter lip gloss for free. That's also... Dang. They get called in the office and Raquel's right there to rub it in their faces, watching them as they receive their punishment, which is calf duty, by the way. So yeah, she's being a hater of progress. The girls are a bit mad at Barbie because it's been all about her lately. She had plans for her campaign and Courtney had her homework to do. Barbie does feel bad about this and apologizes to the girls. On top of that, she gets a face full of leftover calf food. She then starts a food fight and they manage to get a laugh out of the situation. In this case, Barbie does have most of the blame, but I don't think it's entirely her fault. She didn't wish for this to happen specifically. But I can also see where her friends are coming from, as they're also trying to live their own lives and got roped into this popularity drama.
I'm the drama.
You guys, shh, listen.
The bands chosen to play at the fall formal will be Charms.
I can't believe it.
It's so adorable that the girls named their band after their matching bracelets. In the middle of writing about her happenings, she has an epiphany. All the things she wrote in her diary came true or materialized into her life one way or another. With this revelation, she goes back to the store looking for Stephanie, the girl who gave her the diary. But Stephanie is not there. She finds someone else instead and tries to explain the situation to them. But this new girl has no idea what the heck Barbie's talking about.
I'm sorry, you must be thinking of another store. I'm the only girl who works here.
She kind of sounds crazy. Yeah. When I watched this the first time, and a few years ago maybe, I used to think the magic was literal. I mean, I knew it was an abracadabra, bibbidi bobbidi boo magic, and more woo, it's always been in you type of magic. But now I think I can say I really understand why that is. It's like it's based on the idea of setting yourself up for success and manifesting. Hear me out. She writes in a diary, right? By wishing something into the universe in turn provides or reveals opportunities which make you take necessary action to get to the point that you want to get to and getting what you wanted or needed. This is a simplification, of course, but I like how they allowed it to be vague. Definitely different from the other systems of magic in the Barbie movies. They never explain where the store girl came from or went. She kind of just genies her way in and out. Like, what? It leaves plenty of room for interpretation. Barbie herself doesn't fully understand how her magic works though. I think she still thinks it's solely the book that's causing all of her luck and everything that's happening to her and not her. As Kev edits, she tells him she thinks that the clips aren't enough for news. Dawn and Reagan are catty and vain, and all they do is talk about their friends behind their backs. Kev thinks that's good material. FYI, it's not, but I think he's just trying to motivate and encourage her. Whether that's true or not, what he says next sends this whole popularity battle into overdrive.
Oh, you need to go in deeper. You know, go Diane Fossey on those girls. Live among them, earn their trust. You need to become a full-fledged member of the elusive popular tribe.
You gotta dig. You gotta dig.
She has to live amongst thy enemy. I'm scared. In other news, Tia is planning on kicking off her campaign with a rally, but she's worried about whether people are going to show up or not, and they all reassure her that she doesn't have to worry and that they'll be there to support her. Meanwhile, Barbie's coming up with a plan to speak the populace language, but to do that she needs some gist, some worthy dirt to tell Dawn and Reagan. Tia suggests she makes something up, but that would lead to spreading false rumors about someone, and they don't want that. A plan then becomes to tell Dawn and Reagan that she's receiving love letters from Raquel's boyfriend.
Right idea?
She's losing it, y'all. There's no way of being sure that Todd is the one who's sending those secret admirer notes. But she's still like, all the clues point to him. Maybe she'll realize it's a mistake and change her mind.
A few moments later.
Reagan! I have something to tell you, and it's for your ears only. I'm getting these secret admirer notes, and I'm not sure, but I think maybe they're from Todd.
Reagan is excited about this little piece of drama, dragging Barbie all the way to the popular lawn to tell Dawn all about it. She's all mesmerized by this regular patchy-ass lawn and being popular for undercover insight on her little story. When her friends come to get her for Tia's rally, she flat out ditches them and is like, later! They literally just had a conversation where Tia expressed how important the rally is to her, and Barbie said she'd be there. Miss Barbie is successfully integrated into the populars. Now she's doing things like ignoring her friends when they're trying to talk to her, being on her phone during practice, and making obvious excuses. Apparently though, she's getting really good footage and it's almost ready to show to Mr. Wexler.
It's really great out here. The grounds crew is from my father's landscaping company. They give this area extra attention.
This lawn is nothing special. I don't understand. Dawn and Reagan are pressuring Barbie to make a move on Todd, basically sending a big FU to Raquel and replacing her. She's definitely been brainwashed by the fumes getting sprayed on that lawn. Anyway, it's time for feedback from Mr. Wexler. They sent the footage in earlier that morning. And of course, he loves it because he's messy. Messy, messy, messy man. Speaking of Mr. Wexler, you know how in a lot of these types of movies, there's a wise but chill teacher who can be authoritative but has a sound mind and is a caring mentor figure for their students. Mr. Wexler is not that. He's not that. Since she got the position, they're celebrating. I know I've said this a lot by now, but they're so supportive to each other. It's nice to see. Well, that nice moment doesn't last. Trouble ensues. Barbie gets a visit from Dawn and Reagan, and they call her out. She tries to make her excuses, but as expected, they're not having it.
So, you wanted to show the world how terrible populars are for pretending to be friends with people when all they really want to do is gather dirt. Why does that sound familiar?
A healthy dose of truth serum. Things aren't looking that great for Barbie anymore. She's getting pranked by the populars, but what of it? She's still very optimistic. All she has to do is not let it get to her and focus on releasing this story. Like the girl boss she's so desperately trying to be. Dawn and Reagan spill all the tea that Barbie told them not to tell Raquel. So Raquel decides it's payback time. She's like, girls, let's steal the magic bracelet. Sorry, I mean borrow. They're hesitant, but Raquel, being the persuasive queen she is, manages to convince them.
She's so persuasive.
Honey, we're not stealing. We're borrowing. Just like Barbie borrowed your friendship to use you for her little news piece. Just like she borrowed Todd when we were clearly on a trial breakup.
Funny. What even is a trial breakup? This is just Ross and Rachel all over again.
We were on a break!
Wait a minute. Now that I'm really thinking about it, the names kind of do sound the same. Ross and Rachel, Todd and Raquel. I mean, like, come on, is it just me? I'm convinced the writers did this on purpose. So Magic Bracelet is gone, so that means no more Magic Dream Life Manifesting Girl Boss Diary. All hell is about to break loose. But before we see all of that go down, Barbie is missing in action. She won't answer her phone, and the fall formal is that night. So Charms needs to practice before they can get on stage. Courtney and Tia go looking for her, but they find Kev instead. He's working on the piece and they want to see it, and Kev is like, sure, it's awesome. Now, I don't know why he says that, because spoiler alert, it's not. I'll just say it's him not understanding their dynamic. Regardless, he's definitely lost some points from me on this one.
I arrange my clothes in order of color so I can make quicker choices in the morning.
I have a friend who numbers her jeans so she won't accidentally wear the same pair twice in a row.
No way!
Who?
Yeah, who?
Oh, it's no big deal.
Spill, honey.
It's Tia. Oh my gosh, she totally doesn't wash her clothes. That's disgusting.
Oh my god. Hey god.
Yeah, disappointing to say the least. Dawn and Reagan's reactions were so unnecessarily brutal. Like now, because of Barbie, things got all twisted, and now everyone thinks Madam President Tia doesn't wash her clothes. Dumb, I know, but it still affects her.
Who is she?
It's Barbie, bitch.
Enough is enough. The girls are out for blood. Just kidding, no blood was shed during this movie, but they do confront her. While Tia and Courtney talk to Barbie about what she's done, she frantically looks for her lost bracelet.
My bracelet, it's gone. It was in my gym bag, but now it's not there.
My diamond earring came up in the ocean and it's gone. And there's people that are dying.
But Barbie isn't listening. She's still consumed or whatever by her now superficial desires. She's like, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. And Tia says this.
Sorry about your bracelet, but until you get your priorities straight, I don't think I want to hang out with you.
Yup, she's not the one who has to walk around school with people thinking that she doesn't wash her clothes. What did Tia ever do to her? But she's still making excuses, not taking responsibility, and not admitting that she's done wrong. And only talking about her story that frankly, no one wants to see at this point. Except for Mr. Wexler. And maybe Kev. But he's whipped, so... The moment of truth has arrived. It's time for the in-depth study to air.
Hi, I'm Barbie, and this is a special high school news in-depth story. Tonight's topic, what goes on in the secret society known as the In Crowd, the popular kids, the Populazzi. To learn firsthand, I did an in-depth report on the ins and outs of popularity, which I'm not going to show.
I'm shocked! This is shocking news!
She admits to everyone on live TV, well, school TV. I'm actually not sure how large the scale of this broadcast is because people are watching from their homes. I assume anyone can tune in. She just wanted to be noticed so bad she went overboard and forgot that there are people that already do. She doesn't need to be extremely popular to feel loved and appreciated. So she might have roofed it. But at least she took the right opportunity to make amends as soon as she could by apologizing sincerely. She does Kev a solid too and plays his films in that hour that was blocked for the expose to air. And Kev is so happy, like, look at him. You know who's not happy? Mr. Wexler. Yeah, but I have a feeling we're all okay with that. After that, she takes some time to reflect, all sad and gloomy because she really believes that her best friends won't forgive her for what she's done. It's a little depressing, but like, I can relate. We get gifted this sad girl anthem. I guess not. Things are getting a little grim, and then at the perfect time, Kev, Tia, and Courtney surprise her with the dress she placed on hold earlier. They saw her apology and accept it, and since all is well, they have to show up for their gig at the fall formal. Barbie's having a moment of doubt. She feels like she's down on her luck and needs the bracelet to ensure that she doesn't embarrass herself in front of everyone. Kevin then takes the broken guitar string and fastens a temporary bracelet.
Nani? It's magic.
It tells you that you're a beautiful, confident, funny, awesome guitar player who's gonna kick butt at the show tonight.
Kevin, that's ridiculous. It's just a stupid piece of metal.
Exactly what she needed to hear. Finally, Miss Barbie Millicent Roberts understands that it wasn't the bracelet or the book or even Mr. Wexler or the Populars that were making all of that happen. Just her. Even though the bracelet is gone, all the things that she learned during the time that she had it are still with her. She realizes she can still get a better and even more authentic version of what she's wanted this whole time. I suppose I can say she opened herself up to a different perspective. She now knows that the things that she imagined getting and the way she imagined getting them may not be the right things for her. So she decides to be present and do what feels right. And in that moment, it happened to be rocking out with her friends. They arrive at the fall formal and are waiting patiently to perform. And oh my gosh, Raquel is not done wreaking havoc on people's lives. There's no time to deal with her though. They have to get on stage and play some music. Tell me why the moment they get on stage, the whole crowd is chittering and chattering. Nothing better to do? I'm just saying. The gossip train has arrived at the station, I guess. So they have no choice but to address the rumors. She says to everyone she does in fact number her jeans, like the organized queen she is.
Hi guys, so da-da-da-da. Yes, I did that. And you would do it too for a check.
She basically tells them to think. Of course she washes her clothes. This Barbie's running for president and she's gonna win.
The next time someone tells you some juicy dish about someone else, note to self. So what?
Yes, queen! Slay!
2, 3, 4!
I rise to greet the day despite the monsters underneath my bed. I grab a pen and count to 10 and spill the contents of my head.
Every time. It hits. Every time. It does. Raquel absolutely does not know what to do with herself because the people love them.
It's the land of your people. This is not the land. This is Glendale.
She then experiences a series of unfortunate events. Things are not going her way, basically. She gets punched all over her dress, falls down, gets laughed at by the guy who she ran into, causing her to fall down. Like, look at this skill. You really said you're not taking me down with you. I guess it's a little mean, but necessary, you know, as a catalyst for growth and self-reflection. Do I feel bad?
Boo, I don't care. I don't give a damn.
They finish off their performance with Courtney sticking the landing on her trick, and afterwards Kev spots the bracelet on the floor and picks it up. Isn't karma just beautiful? They enjoy the aftermath of their performance. Barbie got her moment to shine and one of her daydreams came to fruition. Tia got crowd points and made a good impression, helping her with her campaign. And Courtney, we know Courtney's happy. Everyone in a way got what they wanted when they were wishing on the sunset at the beginning of the movie. Oh, I almost forgot. And Barbie and Kevin are about to have their moment after getting a little nudge from the besties. But before they can, they're interrupted by Todd, whisking Barbie away. Dude, this whole Todd plot should have been over by now. But then she figures it out eventually. It was Kevin writing the secret admirer notes. Aaaah. Then they have their moment, and all is well in Barbie land. In all honesty, it really all comes down to this story. The plot structure may feel similar in that it pulls from a lot of existing media like Mean Girls, The Sims, and maybe that one Molly Ringwald movie. Despite all that, it still feels unique. They managed to weave many elements and ideas into this story in a way that doesn't feel too rushed and flows with only a 90-minute runtime. Like, I was entertained. I was. The Barbie Diaries has this raw, unhinged 2000's energy. The music especially has this raw, unhinged 2000's energy. Like, Sky Sweetnam put her foot into this. Note to self is still on my rotation.
You fit in. You're too cool, too weird, it's always something. Try hard, but you can't seem to get there. I played a little more each day. think they give and less to say. It's hard to feel when all you feel is numb. I keep looking at you, keep looking right through like I'm invisible.
I don't care what anyone says, 2000s teen pop rock music slaps. Like, just look at the cover art. I believe that this is the look that Mitchie from Camp Rock was going for. Anyway, the themes are the icing on the cake. The message and the morals within the Barbie Diaries have a reason it works. Continuously throughout the movie, they highlight things of friendship, dedication, and having identity outside of what the majority is doing. In other words, the message is what makes this movie what it is. The way that the music, the themes, the tone are all tied together is what makes this movie stand the test of time. I mentioned before how I think the magic is metaphoric and very similar to the idea of manifestation. This isn't definite, but I think the reason we watch Barbie get what she wants with the diary, only for it to immediately go wrong, is for us to see that she was asking for things that don't really mean anything to her and are being pursued for mostly external reasons. So of course she's not going to feel fulfilled even if they come true. With the themes of being a good friend and going for what you want and what you believe in without selling your soul, the reality is there's a balancing act. It's difficult to balance these things when you're young, and there's an existing pressure put on by others and by yourself. Too much, and you can get carried away and fail to see that you're tunnel visioned. You get stuck in pursuing goals that once we achieve will leave us wanting more, thinking of the next goal, which is good, but also you can start to feel like you're in a rat race very quickly. So I think no matter what we're aiming for, it's important to remember that we feel fulfilled because of the people who love us, who've noticed us before and after we've achieved those beautiful, beautiful goals. It begs the question, to what lengths will you sacrifice the wholesome parts of your life to make room for a life that you don't even truly desire but think you want because you've perceived it as better? There is no such thing, and it's not worth it. You can get the life that you deserve by staying true to yourself. She was about to sell her soul to the paparazzi. I mean, I'm not to, like, context, right? I think that's why I keep coming back to this movie. It's unassuming at first glance. It has so much charm to it. As someone who journals and scrapbooks almost every single thought, idea, or plan that runs through my mind, sometimes I get carried away and forget to be present. Watching this movie is such a mood. It reminds me to not use these journals as a guide on how I should live my life, but as an outlet or memento for how I am living my life. So if you've made it this far into this video, thank you so much for watching, and stay true to yourself. Bye.